Sports Cards, phenomenon of the 90s, is brought to you by Tim Hortons. You've always got time for Tim Hortons. O-Pee-Chee, suppliers of young Canada's favorites. And Pepsi, it's got what it takes.
It was at an auction like this that Bruce McNall paid $451,000 for his Honus Wagner card. Auctions have become increasingly popular. Collecting sports memorabilia isn't limited to one section of society, age group, or gender. This week, we'd like you to meet two women who have tapped into this hobby.
For newcomers to the hobby, going into a sports card shop can be an intimidating experience. The stereotypical male sports junkie behind the counter can be enough to make any novice feel inadequate. The atmosphere inside VP's dugout is somewhat different because the V in VP is a woman.
It all started when my son was collecting cards, and I was spending a lot of time looking for cards for him, filling his wish list. When you reach an age, I'm 46, you do something you really want to do, and there's no regrets. If you look back, then there's regrets. And you reach a certain point in your life, you want to do something for yourself. And I thought, now's the time. When men come in, they will go to Peter instead of me. That's not my problem.
I think the novelty has worn off a bit in terms of, if you mean Vera being a female in the business, so they feel very comfortable with Vera. And we have a lot of repeat customers. And you do have people come in who are surprised to see a woman behind the counters and dealing with the cards.
Okay, let's say, for example, a gentleman will come in, or a young, let's say a teenager will come in, and he'll look at me, and he's probably thinking, oh, there's a woman here. I got some old cards. Maybe she's going to buy them. Okay, so I take out my trusty little Beckett. My glasses come on. Now, this is the professional Vera. Lady with the cards. Give me a card here. No problem. Give me a shoot card. Okay, he gives me a card. He says, just found this in my attic. This is a typical story. Just happened to get this box of old cards. I think they're valuable. I've been told they're worth a lot of money. Okay. So we turn to the Beckett. Let's say 1969, 1970. He has, what do we have in here? He's got a Bobby Hall card. Card number 70. He says, gee, it's booking for $37.50 in the guide. And I said, well, as a rule, in the store, we usually pay half Beckett. If it's a premier card and I really want it, we will top that off a little higher than straight Beckett. He says, there's a fella down the street. He wanted to give me $40 for this card. So I'll check the corners, visible creases, condition of the card, and I'll say, there's no way that somebody's going to give me $40 for this card. Look at your corners. But it's an old card. Then I will proceed to pull one of my cards the same year, and I'll say, but look at my corners versus your corners. That's why I can charge this price for the card. And that's how I always come in.
What year was that game? That was this year. One of the JS. That was funny.
That was when Whitney got with that ball. I was watching that.
Children today, I find, and I personally feel, they don't know how to play. To them, the material aspect of cards is very important. They come in and they say, what's this worth? How much can I get for this? And that bothers me as a parent. And I feel children, when you're spending good money, whether it's your allowance or money you've earned, buy what you like. Don't worry about what it's worth and what it's going to give you back. You buy it because you like it and you're going to enjoy it. It's unfortunate. I think the women are missing out because it's a lot of fun. Nice people to meet. There's a nice buzz in the atmosphere. Buying and selling. It's exciting.
Now it's off to Trajan Publishing. Home to the Canadian coin collector, Canadian stamp collector, and the new kid on the block, Canadian sports card collector. After just 1 year on the stands, it's Canada's oldest sports card magazine, and the women on staff outnumber the men by a wide margin.
You don't have to be a card collector or a coin collector or a stamp collector. The skills you need to put out a good product are a little different than that, and they involve being able to find the right people to write for you and use your technical expertise to blend it all together to make a strong product.
What I knew about sports cards, I come from a large family, and I have 3 brothers, and they collected. And that's basically, those are the memories you get. And also, everyone's aware that you get things in cereal boxes and little sheriff coins and stuff like that. And it's just adult sports related, and everyone has memories of sports, and that's what cards, I think, are.
Well, we started Canadian Sports Card Collector last summer. I think that was the first issue came out in the middle of August of 1990, and we just watched, where the collecting interest was going. We saw a lot of coin dealers, from our Canadian Coin News magazine, moving into inventories of sports cards and carrying sports cards in their stores. And we had a lot of demand from our own readers of Canadian Coin News and Canadian Stamp News that they were also collecting cards and starting to take a real interest in that hobby.
When we first launched Canadian Sports Card Collector, we had 400 paid subscribers, and we were inserting over 11,000 into our various other publications. Now we publish 20,000 copies a month, 16,000 go out on a newsstand, roughly 4,000 to our office. We're pleased. We've known it's a growing field, and we're pleased to see that people are growing with us.
It's something happy because a lot of kids come to you and ask you, can you sign can you sign your card? And that's something that I will never forget.
Just above the number on the phony, someone rubbed off the reprint. On that, it's very hard to tell unless you have both cards together, but the brown one is the phony.
Soup's on at Tim Hortons. So come on in for a super deal on our great selection of savory soups.
You've always got time for Tim Hortons.
Enjoy one of our soups with a tea biscuit, coffee, and a donut for just $2.99. Or a heartwarming bowl of chili with coffee, donut, and a tea biscuit for $3.49.
Always got time for Tim Hortons.
Soup's on, chili's hot.
Come on, guys!
Why is the Polar Bear Club having so much fun this winter?
There's no clouds! The water's perfect!
And what's got them really excited is Pepsi's Winter Cool Collection. 6 great designs that celebrate what some people consider the best time of year.
So come on out! And you'll never need a cooler!
Get them now, because they'll be gone with the snow.
I love it!
Actually, it's a pretty good price compared to other auctions in Toronto. Toronto's a major city, so therefore the prices are going to be higher than anywhere else. But yeah, I've been very impressed with the pricing, especially memorabilia. It's been going for very cheap.
Well, what we tried to create was what has been done so successfully in the United States is a premier sports collectible memorabilia auction. We hadn't seen one in Canada before, and we thought we'd be the leaders in trying to create one. And we've been very fortunate today with a great turnout and with some great lots consigned to us. We're very happy. We're going to do it again. I've been surprised. The baseball bats, which we didn't think would get good prices, went extremely well. And some of the hockey sets, which we thought would fetch good prices, weren't sold because they didn't meet the reserves, which I thought were kind of conservative.
You just purchased a Mickey Mantle bat for $1,300. Obviously, this bat is important to you. Why?
Correct. Well, my gray hair shows you that I was in the vintage when Mickey Mantle was a player. I've seen him play, admired him. I was a Dodger fan in the 50s and 60s, and He demolished my Dodgers on many occasions. I'm a bat collector, and Mickey Mantle is a bat that I've always relished to have. I've met him on occasions, and he doesn't sign bats, so it's something that's a unique piece that I will always cherish.
So this isn't something you're just going to turn around and sell. This is something that you bought for yourself.
I will keep it for myself, and when the time comes, I'll give it to this guy.
One of the most coveted items here at this auction is this 64-65 Topps hockey set. They're referred to as the tall boys because this was the only year that they were printed this large. Now, because they're oversized, back in the early 60s, there wasn't much protection for them, so to find a set in this good a condition is extremely rare. They're expecting it to go from anywhere between $6,000 to $8,000. Now, these cards, of course, are the real thing. This week on Collector's Corner, Angelo Savelli is going to talk about counterfeit cards and what to look out for.
Some counterfeit cards are not easy to spot unless you have the original and the phony beside each other. On these cards here, 1910, 1911 C55, some of the phonies were selling between $75 to $100 in the last 3 to 4 months. On these here, the difference, you can really tell, is the back of the card. On my right is the brown, which there was a reprint just above the number of the card, which was rubbed out very neatly. You can't even see it. 1979-80 Wayne Gretzky. The card on this here, you can tell more or less, I've spotted on the shoulder of the original, there's a spot. On the phony one, there is no spot on it. But the big thing on this card is the back of them, the colors of these are completely different. If you have the two of them beside each other, you can tell the blue of the skate and the cardboard itself. It's a big difference on it. 1963 Pete Rose. A lot of them were going around selling for $500 to $600 a piece on the phonies till someone spotted it. And now you can really spot this card is by putting the phony one up near a light. You can see right through it, which on the original one you can't very well see through the card. 1951-52 Parker's hockey cards. There was 3 floating around trying to sell as originals. That was the 3 big ones. Gordie Howe, which ranges from $2,000 to $3,000 in mint condition. The Morris Richard, which runs between $800 to $1,000, and the Terry Sawchuk between $500 to $750. Them 3 cards are floating around trying to sell as originals. You can tell on this card is if you turn it around and you can see the grain on the cardboard is a lot different than the original, which the phony one is a very plain cardboard. Counterfeit cards are not that easy to spot. I've had numerous dealers come to me and not knowing the difference between a phony and an original card. So before buying any of these, look into it. I'm Angelo Savelli. See you next week.
You're asking the wrong guy because personally I don't think we should be charging. But unfortunately there are a lot of people that take the autograph and sell it and make money. And that's not fair either. For kids and stuff like that, I always sign for kids, always. But then you see, and I've seen it here today, a kid will come up and he'll run down there and his father or his, whoever it is, maybe one of these guys at the booth, or say, and then he'll give him some more and say, go up because they know I'm going to do it. But the people that put on the shows, they bring guys like myself in. Yeah, we get paid for it now, but I feel like, I mean, it's like, I don't feel like I deserve to take the money, but it's a business now.
I've tried to show them that with any type of collectible, it's not the immediate dollar, and it's really important for them to start to look at collecting from an enjoyment perspective first.
Flower Power, the new thirst quencher and energizer. Flower Power, for people on the go. Available in 5 delicious flavors and in 2 convenient sizes. With real juice, a source of vitamin C. Enjoy Flower Power, the new thirst-quenching experience.
Count on National Sports Center for the right equipment at the right price. A true exercise program isn't kids' play. That's why you need the Fitness Master 320 skier. A great workout needs quality equipment that's easy to set up and easy to use. Follow your progress by tracking your time, calorie usage, and stride count. The Fitness Master 320. You can rely on it for an effective aerobic workout, day after day, month after month, year after year. National Sports Center. You can count on us for total customer satisfaction.
Soup's on at Tim Hortons. So come on in for a super deal on our great selection of savory soups.
You've always got time for Tim Hortons.
Enjoy one of our soups with a tea biscuit, coffee, and a donut for just $2.99. Or a heartwarming bowl of chili with coffee, donut, and a tea biscuit for $3.49.
Always got time for Tim Hortons.
Soup's on, chili's hot.
The business of sports cards has grown phenomenally over the years. But now here's someone who wants to make it fun again. His name is Bernie Fetterman, but some know him better as Dr. Card.
What I like to do before I handle cards is I like to wash my hands. The reason for that is...
The kids at this elementary school in downtown Toronto had a free period set aside and were asked what they wanted to learn. The answer, of course, was sports cards and collectibles.
Once that starts to happen, now your cards are getting out of mint or near mint condition. So that does make a difference. And the other thing is you want to try and make sure that you don't hit the corners hard because you don't want the corners to get bent. You want them to stay very sharp. Okay? And you also don't want to get them scratched. And that was why I was suggesting you put a tablecloth down if you're going to work with your cards on the floor or table. Yes?
Bernie Fetterman normally owns and operates a card collectible shop. Cynics will say he's participating in nothing more than advanced marketing. But the kids are hungry for information.
What else did we bring?
Well, actually, it was part of the education process. I had a lot of children coming into the store asking me so many questions about cards and condition and pricing and how to grade cards and what types of cards to collect, that I thought it would be a good idea to try and reach more of them at one time than I was just doing at the store. So I spoke to a couple of parents that I knew were involved with school associations, and a couple of parents, as a matter of fact, approached me, and sounded like a great way to get to speak to a group of kids at one time. And it just came out from that. The movie Batman came out. Well, when they brought out the movie Batman, they brought out 2 sets of cards on the movie. There was a first edition, and then this is the second edition. But I wanted to show you that sometimes there are real old cards that are out on something that comes out again. So back in 1966, there was a set of Batman cards, and there was even an earlier set of Batman cards. And they came out with those cards in 1966. They were very popular. And then, because they were so popular, what the company then did was they made a reprint. And they actually tell you it's a reprint, so it's not the original cards from 1966. But in 1989, they made another set, just like the set in 1966. With all, well, they're rounded just from the packing in the box, but they're not bent or creased. Is that what you meant? Yeah. But what's really fabulous about this, I think, is the artwork. I've tried to show them that with any type of collectible, it's not the immediate dollar, and it's really important for them to start to look at collecting from an enjoyment perspective first. In other words, collect what you like to collect. And if you take care of your cards, then over a period of time, because of the number of collectors that are out there and the popularity of different sets, you'll do well over a period of time, but not to look at it just for today. Still, they do. But I'm sure that as they get older and they begin to understand more, they'll begin to understand also the value of what it is that they're actually doing.
I wanted to talk a little bit about
For a lot of them, they tend to key on particular ball players that they like, other sports personalities. If it's not baseball, then hockey or football, basketball. With a lot of them, things like we looked at this morning with the children, the Marvel Universe series, because so many of them are tied into comic books, and it gives them another way to enjoy some of their favorite heroes. And for a lot of them, they'll collect because of the player with the combination of value. And when you go and either buy cards or trade cards, you be sure to ask questions that you think you need to know in order to make your proper trades. Okay, about the condition of the card and how somebody decides what the condition is and what the price is. And you make sure that you're comfortable with the answers that you're getting. They've learned a number of things from it. They've learned to respect property. They've learned an appreciation of value. The other thing that I found in dealing with the children, but also in speaking with teachers too, and parents, is that there are a number of educational benefits that come from card collecting that are subtle, and as far as a motivator, I think are as good as, if not better than, some of the motivational factors we try and pick up with our children today. So that they learn their numbering, they learn how to deal with numbers. A lot of them learn how to read a lot quicker because they're motivated by wanting to be able to pick up the information off the cards, and also how to take care of property.
I'll turn you every single card he's bought.
Take care, Edward. See you later.
The first person I ever asked for an hour was Pierre Bouchard in a tournament. He only signed PB, and I was mad. Yeah, that's it. And then Henri Richard was a little bit later. Those were the only two guys I think I got as a youngster.
Collecting sports cards is easy. Selling them isn't quite as easy. I'll give you some of the options right after this.
The story of McCain Jr. juice. What's wrong, Emily? I can't finish my juice box. It's too big. I wish someone made a little juice box just for us. Cheer up, little ones. McCain Jr. juice is made just for you. It's smaller. Thanks, McCain. It's a happy day.
McCain Jr. juice made smaller so it's perfect for little kids.
In the art world, people can always smell a phony. That's why I use Right Guard Sport, the stick with maximum protection. As a great artiste once said, one should be remembered for inspiration, not perspiration odor. Right Guard Sport. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Count on National Sports Center for the right equipment at the right price. A true exercise program isn't kids' play. That's why you need the Fitness Master 320 skier. A great workout needs quality equipment that's easy to set up and easy to use. Follow your progress by tracking your time, calorie usage, and stride count. The Fitness Master 320. You can rely on it for an effective aerobic workout, day after day, month after month, year after year. National Sports Center. You can count on us for total customer satisfaction.
The wrong cold medicine can leave you sneezing, or feverish, or coughing all night long. Why wake up like this when you could wake up like this with NyQuil, nighttime cold relief so you feel better the next morning.
Sports cards are a lot of fun to collect, but what do you do when you have to sell them? How do you sell your collection? Probably the question that I get asked the most. Well, there are no easy answers, but there are 3 options you can try to sell your collection. One thing you can do is take out an advertisement in a local newspaper or a hobby publication. That way you reach the collectors directly. They can give you a call, find out what you got, and maybe even make you an offer for what you're selling. The second thing you can do is go around to some hobby stores in your area. Bring in your cards, let the dealer take a look at what you're selling, and maybe he will give you cash right on the spot. The third way to sell your cards, and probably the best way, is to sell them on consignment. What that means is you bring in your cards to the dealer and leave them in his store. He puts his price on it and tries to sell it just as if it were his own item. That way, you can get the most for your cards. You get all the money except for a 15 or 20% commission fee that the dealer keeps. Good luck selling and keep on collecting. Until next time, I'm Rand Simon.
I'd like to all welcome you here this morning to the launch of the 20th anniversary celebrations of the first Canada-Russian Hockey Series.
introductory card be available in all of the Hudson's Bay stores across Canada. There's 7,200 English and 1,000 French. That's it. We're not producing any more of them. The litho print, there's 1,972. The first of which went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Paul Henderson has number 19 in the numbered series, that being a sweater number. And the rest of the litho prints are available in our 4 Hudson's Bay stores where the games were played in Canada, that being Montreal, Toronto, Winnipeg, and Vancouver.
But it's really amazing. I win 10 Stanley Cup with the Montreal Canadiens. And for me, it's a dream to win the Stanley Cup because when you play for hockey for the Montreal Canadiens, I think it's a dream come true. But 1972 was really a different thrill. Then that was the first time I ever had a chance to represent my country.
Well, there's no question about it. It's 20 years, but it doesn't seem like that. Paul was sharing here today how many people he meets that want to talk about the Team Canada 72, and I'm in the same position. I think all the fellas are. Whoever we meet, if we go out to do a banquet, people say, I knew, I watched it, and I was in school when I watched it, and they closed the schools down, and so it's still on people's minds, and that's why it doesn't seem like 20 years, but it is 20. It's exciting, and I'm so pleased that somebody has come along to do something like this. It's something we'd all like to have done very, very much, because it was such a special time in our lives, but I'm very much looking forward to next year. It's going to be a great, great celebration.
Lost everything I have. I don't have anything left from the Toronto Maple Leafs or Team Canada. It's all gone to auctions for charities. And so any cards that I've had that I've given away. But we were thinking the other day that probably for my grandchildren, I've got 3 grandsons at this point, and it might be nice to leave something for them. So I'm showing a little bit more interest, and I'd almost have to say that I might become a little bit of a collector myself now.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Sports Cards. But before we go, do you remember when I told you about this 64-65 Topps Tallboy set? Well, it went for $5,200, which is quite a bargain because it's worth about $6,000. And next year, it's going to be worth $10,000. We'll see you again next week. And until then, keep on collecting.
Sports Cards, phenomenon of the 90s, was brought to you by Tim Hortons. You've always got time for Tim Hortons. O-Pee-Chee, suppliers of young Canada's favorites. And Pepsi, it's got what it takes.